Hey, welcome. My name is Johan Saller, and today we have some important news folding here in the United States. President-elect Donald Trump is set to inaugurate for his second term today, and he's shaking this up with a bold and controversial announcement that he did on his social media platform through social, in which he described plans to create the External Revenue Service, a new federal agency designed to collect revenue from tariff and other foreign sources. Now, this proposal is creating a lot of debate, with Trump promising it will make foreign firms finally pay their fair share. But economists pushing back, saying it's US importers and ultimately consumers who bear the real cost of tariff. What does this all mean for the American economy? I will break it down for you. Let's get into it. On Tuesday, Donald Trump used True Social to announce what he's calling the External Revenue Service, or ERS. Here is part of his statement. As I quote from his post directly: "For far too long, we have relied on taxing our great people, using the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, to solve emphatically weak trade agreements. The American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world while taxing ourselves. It's time for that to change." He went on saying this new agency will collect tariff, duties, and revenue for foreign sources, declaring January 20, which is today, 2025, the official birthday of the ERS. He also mentioned that he will impose a 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico. With Trump taking office for his second term, while details are currently unclear on how he plans to implement this, his team has hinted that executive orders could be signed almost immediately after his inauguration. Now, before we unpack more information, let's define a few key terms, because understanding this will be crucial. First up, tariff. A tariff is essentially a tax or a duty placed on an imported goods. Governments usually use tariff to make foreign goods more expensive, encouraging buyers to turn to domestic products instead. However, the cost is often absorbed by the company and passed down to the consumer. Speaking of duties, these are another type of tax imposed on specific goods, often at the point of entry into a country. They work similar to tariff, but are typically associated with one of or a specific type of transaction. Finally, there is the USMCA, the US Mexico Canada Agreement. This is the trade deal that replaced NAFTA. It was negotiated during Trump's first term, and what it does is oversee the trades between these three countries, aiming to eliminate most tariff and promote smoother commerce. Trump said that he will impose a 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican goods directly, which this contradicts the spirit of the USMCA, which is likely what's raising eyebrows among economists and trade experts. I do think he's using this as a negotiation tactic, so when they sit down on the table, he can use this 25% as leverage. Now, what will happen if the ERS comes to life? Reality, on the surface, look like this proposal sounds like it will bring plenty of revenue from foreign companies. Trump emphasized this is a way to shift the tax burden from Americans to those that make money from us. Tariffs don't work the way they're being framed. When a tariff is imposed, it's not the exporting company or the country that pay the tax directly. It is the US importer who charge. The cost is often passed down the supply chain to business and ultimately the consumer. For example, imagine the US slap a 25% tariff on cars imported from Canada. Automakers paying the tariffs will likely raise the prices, meaning the American buyer will have to pay the difference when they walk into the dealership. And that's specifically what I'm saying, that he's using this as a negotiation tactic to get in the table and talk to them. Many experts argue that far from making foreign companies pay, the ERS will mean higher prices for everyday Americans. What does this all mean politically? Trump is entering his second term with a promise to continue his America First agenda and doubling down on trades. If you think about it, the creation of the ERS aligned with his view of reshaping global trade to favor American businesses. However, this move may provoke resistance not just from economists and trading partners, but also from Congress. Tariffs require careful legislations, and implementing such sweeping reforms through executive action could lead to legal challenges for him. On the other hand, Trump has always been a president who thrives on dramatic policy changes. By announcing the ERS on his inauguration day, he's actually making it clear that he's ready to roll his sleeves and take a bold action out of the gate. Now, many experts warn that this announcement could rock the economy. Some people are loving the tariffs conversation, and they urge that protecting American industries is worth the cost. Some people argue that higher consumer prices and retaliation trade wars will hurt more than help. Looking into the future, here's what we'll be watching. For one, will Trump actually sign an executive order creating the ERS today? Number two, how will Congress and the courts respond to this move? And finally, will key trading partners take any step towards retaliation? Well, all I can say is this one thing for sure: Trump's vision for trades is explosive and controversial as ever. That's it for today. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.